Alright, so I'm losing my voice, so bear with me, but this is a video I need to get out. The regular season is just about to begin. It's a season filled with just as much excitement as any of the previous ones. It's got a rookie class filled with starting QBs that brings excitement and hope to many teams around the league. And just like any offseason, there were big-time moves. Aaron Rodgers, Odell Beckham, Ezekiel Elliott, and so much more. So in honor of the season starting, I want to do the impossible thing, trying to predict the season. And I can guarantee my predictions are going to be way off. So I'm just going to try to make a quick, entertaining video and give reasoning to why I'm predicting the teams in that way. And then just to look back on it and see if I surprise myself. So let's start with the AFC North. The AFC North, as it stands right now, have gotten two teams that have established themselves over the past couple of years, while the other two have been building and recovering to get to them to the point where they are right now. And right now, they have the potential to overthrow those two heavyweights. First heavyweight is the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar is fully healthy, and if he can stay that way, they're going to be dangerous, especially after he's gotten two new weapons in Zay Flowers and Odell Beckham, giving me confidence that this offense will be a strength for them, winning the many games totaling to 11-6. Now, for one of the up-and-coming teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are sneaky good. They're a very young team with a high ceiling. Pickett seems to be a great replacement for Big Ben, with talent all around him from wide receiver, running back, to O-line. I would not be surprised if they were battling for the division this year. Ultimately, though, I don't feel they hit their potential this year, and I have them going 9-8. Now, to the other heavyweight that's also a young team, the Cincinnati Bengals. Like the Steelers, they are a young team, but a young team that has proved to be a contender the past 2 years. They're not the same old Bengals that I grew up on. We know what the Bengals are, and as long as they stay healthy, I have them in contention again. They've been fairly quiet this offseason, making some moves, none bigger than signing Orlando Brown Jr. to help protect Burrow. To me, I have them going 12-5. Now, lastly, the last up-and-coming team, the Cleveland Browns. This is the most unpredictable team in the division. I could see them doing very good or underperform badly. They have a solid roster on paper, a good quarterback, a great running back, good receivers, and playmakers on defense. A lot rides on Deshaun's shoulders. He's had a full offseason, which will probably help, but I still feel he's got some rust, and I got them capping out at 9-8. Now, hopping over to the AFC South, we've got two struggling teams gaining two new rookie QBs, giving them some hope. Firstly, the Indianapolis Colts. Colts have had good teams the past 3 years on paper, doing great with Phillip Rivers, but then just absolutely collapsing with Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan, which now has given them the opportunity to flip the page with a new up-and-coming rookie quarterback, Anthony Richardson. I personally think Richardson will do well. However, there's just so much drama going on with the Colts right now and the whole Jonathan Taylor contract extension, which hurts them in many ways, with the main one being that Jonathan Taylor's not out there. So, although I do think they'll have some highs, I have them ending the season at 7-10. The next team has got a developmental QB, the Tennessee Titans. Will Levis might make an appearance this year, but what's for sure is Ryan Tannehill will get another opportunity, and he will definitely only focus on his game. Titans got a lot of reshuffling pieces, a new general manager, offensive coordinator, and D-Hop. This might help. It might. To me, though, they're not one that jumps out to me. Although Mike Vrabel always gets the best out of his team, I have them losing one more game than last year, going 6-11. Now, jump into a team with a little bit more QB stability, the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's no question that the hiring of Doug Peterson has totally flipped this franchise on its axis just 1 year from the whole Urban Meyer finger guns year. Just a year later, and they look like one of the best young teams in the whole league. And although they have lost some veteran players, I like the acquisitions that they've picked up this year. None more than Calvin Ridley, which I believe will give the offense a step up from last year, and I have them going 11-6. Lastly, but not least, the Houston Texans. A team that not long ago seemed up and coming, but ever since Deshaun Watson left, the team's been struggling and clawing to survive. Texans have not been great, but they were a team last year that I felt like always fought. And now they get another opportunity with a young QB, CJ Stroud. I see this team having some real lows, but also the highs that come along with a rookie QB. And you never know, in a couple years, this team might be in contention for the division. Not this year, though. I got them going 6-11. As notable as the QB changes are in the AFC South, none are getting as much buzz as the one team in the AFC East, the New York Jets. As in the eyes of Sean Payton, this team has gone to win the offseason. Now, will that be the case for the regular season? Who knows? I would be lying to say if I didn't think there was a chance that this team could be this year's Broncos. However, I would be surprised. This team's roster just looks so bright, and adding Aaron Rodgers to the mix just makes it hard for me to believe that they will be bad. Jets got a lot of good young players with a good defense and an offense that will keep them in every game. The Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson connection already seems to be lethal. Overall, I think the whole team starts a little slow, but then kick it into gear, and I have them going 11-6. Rightfully so, the Jets are getting all the attention, but you cannot forget about the Buffalo Bills, who are just lurking in the shadows. They have been the kings for that division for 3 years now, and I don't see them giving it up that easy. They got a great squad and a QB that a lot of people believe is in the top 5, if not top 3. Yes, their flame burned out last year, but I have this squad outperforming the Jets and going 13-4. Now, there's also another team quietly lurking in the ocean, the Miami Dolphins. They got some more question marks around them than the Bills, mainly all revolving around Tua and his health. I feel Tua's a good QB, but they're a team like the Browns where they could be anything. They proved last year that they can compete with the Bills, and if they just improve from last year, they will be tough challenges for the Bills and the Jets. All in all, in my opinion, I have them being average, going around 9-8. Lastly, jump into the Emeritus Patriots. Emeritus fits this team perfect. They dominated for such a long time and now feels they've retired. They've been struggling to get back on their feet ever since the Tom Brady departure. And although they have a Hall of Fame coach, Bill Belichick, this is just showing how far a good QB takes a team. To me, that struggle they've been having will follow them again this year, and I have them going 4-13. Now, for the defending Super Bowl champions division, the AFC West. And why not start with the Kansas City Chiefs? Chiefs are lurking for a dynasty, and there's no doubt that they're the favorites again, with the main reason of that being because of Patrick Mahomes. Last year, coming in without Tyreek Hill was a big question mark, and a question mark that they totally answered. They adapted without Tyreek Hill and just found ways to be even more potent on offense. Now, we'll have to see how bad Travis Kelce's injury is, but after last year, I will never question them again. And although I will not pick them ever to cover, I have them going 13-4. Now, to the 3 teams trying to dethrone the Chiefs. Firstly, the one that I think has the biggest chance to do that, the Los Angeles Chargers. They yet again have a good-looking roster and made some moves to help out Herbert, wide receiver Quentin Johnson, and then snagging Kellen Moore. These 2 moves I feel will help them, but no matter what, the Chargers are always a big walking question mark coming into every year. Matter of fact, every game. I do think they will be a good team. However, I don't think they can take down the Chiefs in the regular season, but maybe in the postseason. I have them going 10-7. Now for the Jets of last year, the Denver Broncos. They are also another big question mark. A little different from the Chargers. The Chargers I know are good. It's just if they can play game to game consistent. The Broncos, I have no idea if they will be bad or good. They pick up Sean Payton to see if they can try to revive Russell Wilson and get this team on a full 180. Broncos no doubt have a good defense and got talent, but nothing could save them last year from letting Russ cook. So it's interesting to see, will Russell Wilson make a comeback? I do see him getting some life again this year. However, I just do not see them competing with the Chargers or the Chiefs. I got them ending up at 7-9. If there's any Broncos fans watching this right now, I feel for you guys. The amount of hype you guys had was unreal just to be disappointed. Another team that was up there in the hype and disappointment was the Las Vegas Raiders. Wow, what a difference a year makes. Davante Adams seemed to be the piece to get him over the edge. The flaws on defense and the struggles on offense totally shattered the hype. Last year was such a disappointment, they had to do something. So what they chose to do was hit the eject button on Derek Carr and sign Jimmy Garoppolo. To me, this just makes them worse. I got them going 3-14. So there it is, the AFC. What a tough conference with so many great QBs. Anybody could take it. Anybody. I mean, the damn Raiders could. You never know. I believe the Chiefs, Jets, Bills, Chargers, Ravens, Bengals will all have a hand in it. Now let's jump over to the NFC. And let's jump over to the division of quarterback change, the NFC South. I'm not kidding. It's like Christmas for every team in the NFC South. Some are getting new Christmas presents. Some are getting some used Christmas presents. Either way, we'll have to see which one is the best. Firstly, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are in a big transition year, officially finally losing Tom Brady and deciding to go with Baker Mayfield, which seems like a downgrade, but in Baker's defense, he's actually been playing very well in the preseason and could be a good fit. For me though, I see them taking a drastic step down, going 4-13. Next, the New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr is now the lead guy, going away from Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston, which I feel is an upgrade. And although I don't think Derek Carr is perfect and will solve all their problems, I do think he'll make them a challenging team. Every year it seems they have a well-rounded team, but ever since Drew Brees have been struggling to get some stable QB play. Derek Carr, I think, might provide that. I have them flipping their record from last year, going 10-7. Now, the next team in the QB carousel is the Atlanta Falcons. Compared to the other QBs in the division, like Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield, Desmond Ridder hasn't really been given the opportunity or had the experience like them. So it's hard to gauge how well he will be. So I feel like the safer option is to go a little bit lower on the win count. And although they just picked up Bijan Robinson and have some skilled players around him, I just don't have great confidence that they will have a high win season. I have them falling to 4-13. Lastly, the Carolina Panthers. Panthers have the most buzz around them, which is pretty usual after having a number 1 overall QB pick. Bryce Young is very promising, and the only part of his game that the doubters start coming after is his size, which we'll just have to wait and see. But him, along with the new offensive and defensive coordinators, give this team some buzz and some hope. However, no DJ Moore or Christian McCaffrey really hurt this team and makes it hard for Bryce Young in his first year. I just don't see that much talent around him, which is why I have them going 6-11. Now going over to the NFC East. Last year, this was seen as one of the worst divisions, and out of nowhere became one of the best. It's a prime example of no matter how many people try to make their opinions on how the season will go, nobody will get it right, and there'll always be something unexpected. That's the beauty of NFL and in general sports. Anyways, starting with the Philadelphia Eagles. The biggest question to me is, will they do it again? Teams that make it to the Super Bowl and lose usually don't fare too well the next season. However, this roster just looks too promising for me to say that they're going to have a bad year. I would not be shocked at all if they were in the same position as last year. I have them going 12-5. Now, to the next team that went 12-5 last year, the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'll just say, if you've seen my videos previously or just scrolling through my YouTube page, this is probably where my bias will come in, but I tried hard not to. This might be my most controversial. I don't know. In my eyes, the Cowboys have one of the best rosters they've had in a long time. With that being said, they are the Cowboys. I think that speaks for itself. This great roster could go totally downhill. But I feel like there's a great chance that Dak plays very well this year with this roster and they make a good regular season run, ending at 13-4. Now I know, you're probably thinking I'm crazy, and I get it. But I honestly believe they will go 13-4. If you would have asked me last year what their record was, I probably wouldn't have gave them more than 8 wins. And that's just being honest. I'm serious. The roster right now just looks very promising. But I wouldn't be surprised if this was my worst take on any team this year. Anyways, next team, the New York Giants. Brian Daboll, the coach of the year last year, had this team overachieving in my opinion. And coming into this year, they are definitely on my radar. Unlike Giants fans, I do not have great confidence yet in Daniel Jones. I just don't believe yet, I guess. I will say, though, he has been improving, and he could take a massive step forward this year. I will say 8-9. Now, over to the team with the new owners, the Washington Commanders. They were also another team that was very surprising last year and went on a run with Taylor Heineke. They got playmakers, and the defensive line looks very threatening. However, they are going over to a new QB, and although they might surprise me and win a lot of games, I just don't see it that way. I do think they'll be in a lot of games, but just not pull it off. I got them going 5-12. Now over to the division that all 4 teams looked stacked a couple years ago, but now 2 of them seem to be fading. The NFC West. Most shocking team out of this division last year had to be the Seattle Seahawks. I, along with many other people, wrote them off when Russell left, but Geno never wrote back and had one of the greatest comeback stories of the year. Will he be able to do that again? I do think so, especially with a great rookie class last year and one that looks promising again this year. I have them going 10-7. Going over to the one and done, the Los Angeles Rams. Great team that went all in a couple years ago and it paid off. But like a BMW, when parts start going out, it's expensive. Parts started breaking last year and they could not afford it. It's now been spreading over to this year with Cooper Kupp being questionable for who knows how long, and then Matthew Stafford's connection with the team. When it goes, it goes. And the Rams, to me, are a poster child for that cliche saying. I don't see them being able to fix it this year, and I have them going 3-14. On the flip side, the San Francisco 49ers seem to be an old reliable Toyota or Honda. Every year, they seem to be in it and breaking the Cowboys' hearts. The biggest question for me, will Brock Purdy come down to earth or get even better? In my eyes, they're a solid team with a great offensive coordinator that helps elevate a young QB. I have them the opposite of the Rams, going 13-4. Lastly, and surely the least, the Arizona Cardinals. A team that seems to be on life support with a sparkle of hope from the new coach. But there's really not much. And although I think Kyler might prove his doubters wrong, he and the team have so much going against them that I fully can't buy in. I originally had him doing a little bit better, but I was like, nah, I can't do it. I got them going 4-13. Finally, the last division. I hope you're still watching. I might have lost you, especially after the Cowboys record, but here it is. The Green Bay Packers, the team that has the opportunity to be the Seattle Seahawks of last year. How will Jordan Love do is the big question. He's been doing pretty good in the preseason, which has been getting the Packers fans all riled up. And to me, opens my eyes, and I feel like they will be pretty decent this year. However, not above 500. The defense was a little bit shaky last year, and for that, I got them going 8-9. Next, the Detroit Lions. They have one of the most entertaining coaches in the league, and to be honest, I've kind of hopped on the hype train. I think they'll have a good year and separate themselves as one of the better teams in the division, going 10-7. The Minnesota Vikings. They earned some respect from me last year, especially going undefeated in one-score games. With having Justin Jefferson too, that doesn't hurt. And although they've lost some players, I do still feel they have a good team. And I feel like they'll have a good year, going 11-6. Finally, the last team, the Chicago Bears. I feel like this team is very hyped up in the mainstream media, especially Justin Fields. I don't know what it is. I haven't jumped fully on the train yet, but I'm definitely ready to buy a ticket. DJ Moore will be a great fit for them, and I have them improving vastly from last year, going 10-7. There it is. This list might have pissed you off or bored you to death. Either way, I'm not going to die on this sword. I feel like there might be a chance some of these teams end up with this record. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know in the comments if they're really that bad. I'm looking forward to the end of the year and doing a recap, seeing if I really will surprise myself. Anyways, thank you for watching and have a great week, a good football season, and good luck to your team. Peace.